with other aspects of our BLA review. We're kind of breaking
inspection. Do you feel you're far along with the rest of the review? Are you kind of engaged in a label at this point? So any color you could provide there would be great. And then second question, as we think about eventual approval and launch, there's been some recent launches in the toxin space that have gone a little bit less than stellar. So I wonder if you could talk about lessons learned and how you might stage this launch in terms of getting experience and then broadening, if there's any kind of expectations you can set for us once we, knock on wood, get an approval. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ken. Great question. So, the first one in terms of where we're at in the agency with other aspects of our BLA review, we're kind of breaking typical tradition here and commenting on the site inspection as it relates to, where we are in the BLA process. And the reason that we're doing this, that, every quarter we give an update, and oftentimes we'll kind of reconfirm, some of our different milestones and where we're at. Since the FDA resumed site inspections earlier in the year following the first COVID wave, we've been optimistic that, our visit would happen in sort of the due course. However, our confidence in the FDA's ability to conduct a site visit in time for our PDUFA date of November 25th has reached a point where now 16 days out from our PDUFA approval, we thought it was appropriate to share, the fact of a lack of inspection. There's still time that it could happen before the PDUFA timeframe, but we thought it was appropriate, given the COVID environment to share that. As it relates to sort of other parts of the review process, we, consistent with our prior policy, we don't think it's appropriate to comment on where we are in that process since the discussions are ongoing. However, what I would say is we feel very confident in the quality of the submission that we put forward, and we continue to work collaboratively with the agency. On your second question about sort of lessons learned from other launches, I think each sort of launch is going to be unique and different. We've got the benefit of sort of looking at each of those and trying to learn certainly from those that have gone before us. However, what I would say is, our strategy is very different. I think because of the products that we've assembled and the differentiation, we're taking a different approach. We're creating a new category in the prestige segment. We're very targeted and focused in terms of the customers that we're going after. In addition to the quality of the products, we've got a little bit of a different strategy around sort of pricing and positioning in the market. And what I would point to is sort of the early traction that we're seeing with the RHA line of fillers. I think that the strategy that we've laid out seems to make a lot of sense. It's resonating. And I think as we've communicated before, we plan to take a similar approach once daxibotulinumtoxinA and for injection gets approved, where we're going to be very measured in our approach. We're going to start with a small group to get good user experience. We'll then go through the preview program there, and then sort of fully launch as we get into sort of the Q3 timeframe. So I just think they're very different strategies, and certainly we've tried to learn from what the market has said, but we feel really good about our position in sort of the creation of this new prestige category.
Thanks so much.